Well, Wes is unloading some larch. This is from, I haven't done any videos lately. This is, I don't know if I've talked about it or not, but this is larch plantation wood. And these large plantations are something that Sappi, well, I think it was Scott Paper at the time, I think had programs out to give landowners, I think, trees to plant in old farm field. And basically, I think probably their idea was that it would, you know, create a bunch of fiber out there, which that's all larch is good for, fiber. And I guess this is like a European hybrid of the natural tamarack or hack or larch. It's got many different names here. So it's a hybrid. I guess the natural indigenous larch or tamarack, you can sell it as logs. Some mills will take that as logs, but this hybrid you can't. So it's purely just pulp fiber. So I've never, this is the first one we've ever cut. I've seen them on company land, Weyerhaeuser, which is old paper company land, but never, this is private, so never really, I've never cut these. So it certainly processes really easy, and it's pretty easy for the forwarder to handle. It's fairly productive. I even decided this week to give Wes some time in the processor, because there wasn't going to be any easier wood than this for Wes to train on and get his feet in the water, and it would just be a more beneficial thing to have him trained up on other machines. So he did pretty well. He didn't bend any chains, break any chains, bend any bars, bar tips, which are normally the beginner items that you would have trouble with. So, and it was pouring here yesterday. This winter has just not been agreeable for a good winter for logging. It was warm in the beginning, took quite a while for things to get frozen down enough to do anything. And it's only February, I think the 28th, which would normally be early, and it's not looking good for, you know, to get through the month of March anyways. We've got a few options for stuff that might get us a little bit longer. We're going to this job we're on now is a little wetter. The yards are right, but the woods is wet. So right now we're going to focus on getting all the wood that I've laid down so far processed and forwarded, and then kind of see where we're at. There's not a whole lot left, but I don't want to lay down a bunch of wood we can't get up, because we'd have to wait until probably the dry part of the summer for this job, and that wouldn't be worthwhile. And we could probably get it all picked up, but depending on the landowner, you know, we would end up making some mud, which you know, some instances that's okay, and others it's not acceptable. So depending on what the ground's like, and is there water around, or is the landowner, is that a big issue for the landowner, or can we fix it? There's a lot of different variables, factors that would feed into that. So I would tend to err to more, let's not push it too hard. Let's get as much as we can, but not so much that it's going to create a problem. So you can see this stuff, you know, it's just the nice straight, it unloads easy. It's just I really wouldn't mind cutting this stuff all the time. It's easy on equipment. I think it weighs up pretty good, and it's always it's not very often that we get into some plantation or a specific type of wood where you're only hauling one thing. So there's no other sorts in the plantation, so the wood adds up real quick. So anyways, this is kind of a little forwarder video, and kind of, I haven't done very many videos lately, and kind of what's going on. I've been looking into new forwarders. Kind of looks like we're gonna demo one next week. I'll try to get a video of that. At the moment, I'm not planning on jumping right on it right now with winter winding down. I think my plan is to really make sure I got the best financing and the best situation, and then kind of when we're getting back to work for the season, and hopefully that's not a long mud season. There's not much snow, so if the weather continues like it is, we won't be down that long. And I think my plan is, as long as everything goes good, is to maybe work that deal as we're kind of getting ready to go back to work, so that we're going back to work with a new forwarder, and we're ready to produce, and it appears that at least we've had a good enough idea this winter that I have a real good idea about what kind of production we do with the new forwarder, and it works. It's good production, and I think with a newer machine, with the uptime and not having to deal with the breakdowns and all that other stuff, would be a lot more beneficial for us. And there's a lot of other factors that go into that. I've owned this forwarder for almost 2 years now. You can't run them too long. You'll erode all your equity, and you know, you got to have some depreciation. You don't want to be buying stuff just for taxes, but also I feel like I'm getting old, but I'm only 35, so I can't run this machine forever. So if you don't stay on top of kind of updating your stuff, eventually you kind of get priced out of the market. You know, so I think, you know, I've been talking with the bank, and I think I'm working on getting some pretty good interest rates, and they're good to deal with. So I think whenever it happens, I think the deal I'm working out will be good. I'll be comfortable with it, and it should be a good deal for us to move into the summer and really be able to produce for the whole next season. Of course, there'll be bumps, you know, could have breakdowns with the processor or buncher, but I think it's a necessary move. But there you go. Wes takes him about 8 minutes to unload about 16 tons or so of larch pulp. So anyways, I figured I'd do a little update. I'll try to get some more videos out. Sorry I haven't been that great about putting out much videos last week or so. So like, subscribe, comment, and we'll catch you later.